Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Depending on what time you may be watching this, I have no idea. But today, I will be taking some time out to talk with a few students on the campus of Columbia State University on stereotypes and on the actual theory of symbolic interactionism. Many people do not know what symbolic interactionism is, even though it happens in our everyday life as easy as 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to ask a few questions, enlighten a few people, and see if we can bring about some change and some great dialogue. Thank you.
What's going on, man? Doing all right? Yeah. I'm pretty good. My name is Gavin. I'm going to check up some of the time and ask you a few questions.
Oh, yeah, sure.
We'll step into my office right here, sir. What's your name and classification, sir?
My name is Dr. Wells. I'm a senior here. I actually graduated next year.
Okay. I've seen you around a few times, sir. First question for you. Can you define the word stereotype in your own words?
My own word, stereotype. I would have to say a stereotype is just kind of like a generalization, just based off of like past things you may have seen or may have heard that people just carry on with them through their everyday basis.
Okay, so what do you think they're typically based off of?
I just feel like they're mostly based off of just looks or just previous conversation you may have had with somebody, maybe just reoccurring things that you see, like just based off of a general group of people or something. Just as far as like jobs, maybe people might think like, hey, because he plays on the basketball team, he's a cocky individual, he thinks he's better than somebody else.
Right.
Just things that you may have seen in a movie or just everyday conversation that you see, like, okay, they thought that, I think that, a few other people may have thought that, so maybe it's actually a thing, it's a stereotype.
Well, the few basic or the few general areas that stereotypes are based off of is, of course, race, ethnicity, age, gender, and of course, sexual orientation, especially in today's day and age. Let me ask you another question. Do you think that stereotypes are used in today's everyday life? Or do you think it's just like sometimes you might find yourself in a certain place at a certain time, or do you think it's typically used every day?
I feel like it's typically used every day. It's sad to say that it is that way in today's day and age, but I do feel like it's typically an everyday thing. People may think just because of the color of your skin that you may just have a competitive advantage. You know, there's some things out there that people say, quote unquote, white privilege. Things may feel like you may be more privileged because you're white, or just, you know, it can just be a side of reason, like TV shows.
Okay. Well, what if I told you that due to symbolic interactionism, that all of those same stereotypes and everything that we know today is the reason why it's still perpetuated and still consists daily in our everyday life? All right. So do you think that we purposely go out of our way to consistently repeat these different stereotypes, or do you think it's just something that's so far deep within what we have going on that it's inevitable?
I don't think it's something that's inevitable. I definitely feel like it can be changed, but I don't feel like it's personally going out your way. I just think over years and years you've heard the same thing over time. You start to kind of believe that there's some truth to it. Like if, just for instance, going back to the watermelon thing, for years and years, just as an African American male, I've just heard numerous of conversations to where somebody has just stated that African Americans like watermelon. So after you don't hear it for so years, and I can only speak for myself as an African American. I do like watermelon, and I know other African Americans that do like watermelon, and I've heard it several amount of times. So it's kind of it kind of makes it seemingly as a truth or as a fact. And even though I'm sure I can walk upon another African American male or female I ask them, and of course there's gonna be a person that's gonna say like, no, I think watermelon is disgusting. I don't like watermelon. You know, I know it's not a fact, but just through my everyday walks of life, I've heard it a lot. It just seems very close to a fact. I don't know what you would call that, but it seems like it's very true.
See, the thing with the symbolic interactionism is we work off a belief system. It doesn't necessarily have to be a true fact, but as long as we can coincide with another group and we have a certain belief in it, no matter if it's true, if it's been proven, doesn't matter. If we believe it, then that's what we continue to portray. So that's basically how certain things.
Oh, it's all good.
Hey, how's it going? You all right? Still, I'm reading over here. Oh, okay. That's very true. Well, you want to step into my office? I got a few questions. Absolutely. All right. Sure. My first question to you is, can you define stereotypes in one word? Well, in your own words. In your own words.
Right. I guess a stereotype would be a generalization they put on a group of people or individuals based on something that happened in their prior history.
Did you just Google that answer, sir?
Absolutely not, sir. I'm brilliant.
All right. Well, yeah. Stereotypes are basically just assumptions that are made about people from previous interactions and previous connotations, depending on which light they actually witnessed it in. Do you believe that stereotypes are very much used every day?
Actually, I do believe they're very much used every day. More than most people would think. The reason I say this is because I think we deal with stereotypes just unknowingly, or we've been dealing with them so long we don't take heed to them in our everyday lives. For example, they see me when I'm tall, I got basketball shorts. Y'all man looks when I play sports. When the exact opposite is true, because I'm terrible at sports.
Very true. I do get that Hooper look from you. Ball is life, no?
Ball is not life.
Okay.
Ball is not life. Math is life.
Okay. I understand. So, let me ask you one more question, sir.
Anytime.
What do you believe stereotypes are typically based off of?
I believe stereotypes are based off of, well, I guess I would say your race or sexual preference or your religion. And honestly, anything that can set you apart from somebody else. I think
That's very true. Well, for one, the typical stereotypes. I don't know. You might have just been on Google, my friend. I do not know.
Absolutely not. So I'm sure I was just reading much more.
The general stereotypes are off of race, ethnicity, gender, and sexual orientation. But it's basically any characteristic that can set you apart from anyone else. Spot on, my friend. Spot on.
All right, so Ken, symbolic interaction is the knowledge between one person and the symbols and appearance between another. So it can be anything from the type of shoes you have on to your hat to anything like that. Like, let's say you're walking into the Davidson. At the top of the Davidson, you look to your left, you look to your right. What's the first thing you see?
Campus nerds.
Campus nerds. You don't know if everybody that's sitting around in that area is exactly in the organization of campus nerds. They might just be an affiliate, but our first initial thought is they're a campus nerd. You get that?
No, I understand you.
Okay. All right. So it's true, and it doesn't necessarily have to be true. Like, let's see. You said math is your sport. Do you believe all Asian people are good at math?
I know for a fact all Asian people are good at math.
Okay. And you know this for a fact, correct?
Yes, I do.
Everybody may not know that for a fact, but see, that just goes to show that everything is not true. Let me ask you another one. Oh, Jerry, what's up, man?
What's up, Gavin?
You doing all right?
I'm doing good.
Hey, good to see you. Good to see you. Got some free time on your hands?
Oh, yeah.
All right, let me talk to you for a second. Step into my office. Sit right here for me.
No problem.
All right, so Jerry, what's your classification, man?
I'm a sophomore.
Sophomore, what's your major?
Marketing and communication.
Marketing and communications. Okay, I see you, boy. I see you. All right, so first question. What do you believe stereotypes are? Can you define what stereotypes are in your own words?
I believe stereotypes are kind of negative. It can be a negative and positive connotation on someone based on maybe their race, religion, beliefs, or just the way they carry themselves.
Okay, all right. What do you believe they're based off of? You said to maybe race or beliefs?
Yeah, race, beliefs, sexuality, where you come from.
Okay, yeah. Some major key points that stereotypes are really based off of are race, ethnicity, gender, and sexual orientation. Well, let me see. Do you think that they're all true?
Honestly, no, I don't think any of them are true. But I mean, I don't know. I don't think any of them are true.
Why so?
Because, I mean, just looking at it, how I look at things this way, you're always going to find that one person that's not dealing with it, even if the majority is.
Do you think that everybody that is either carrying or wearing or portraying the Confederate flag somewhere on their person is considered to be a racist?
Personally, yes, I do. And that's because of a personal experience I had. Well, it's a personal experience I had last summer where I went to Tennessee to Smoky Mountains. They had a Confederate flag rally. And some of the things that they would scream outside their cars was, derogatory things toward African American people. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that's why I assume.
That's why you assume, okay. Well, that incident right there is a form of symbolic interaction. All right, symbolic interactionism is the knowledge between one person and the appearance and the symbols being portrayed by the next. So from what you already knew about that flag and the history of that flag, and then to see those people feeding into the hype and feeding into the destruction behind it, that just lets you know that reaffirmed your initial thought, basically. So it's through these different interactions that keeps the stereotypes perpetuating and continuing to grow and continuing to thrive. Because many of them are actually not even true. It's like just to say all Jamaicans smoke weed, And my mother is a Jamaican and she has terrible asthma. My mother can't smoke a thing. She can't even be 2 feet close to a smoking section. Okay? And 90% of my family doesn't smoke weed. That's just a generalization because of what they may see it portrayed in a movie or this and that. But do you think you know when you may have learned some of these things? Like let's just say the watermelon. The watermelon incident. Do you believe that you were already initially told that all black people love watermelon, or is it something that you witnessed prior to, or you were told then witnessed?
I think I was told then witnessed. I was given watermelon at a young age. I love it, delicious fruit. And then as I got older and I started hanging around and meeting more black people, it's like there's a watermelon in their house. Oh, you want some watermelon? Oh, sure, why not? And everywhere I see black people eating watermelon.
Well, okay. So that just goes to show if it's supporting what you've already been told, then you have no choice but to believe it, even though it might not be 100% fact. Question.
Yes.
Do you think that stereotypes are used in everyday life?
I do. I believe they are most definitely used in everyday life.
How so? Well, do you think that you use any stereotypes in your everyday life, or is it just a matter of how you carry yourself, how you protect yourself, maybe depending on certain situations?
I wouldn't say I use them in everyday life, but they are in mind. I don't judge anybody off those stereotypes that are in mind, but it's just there have because not all stereotypes are negative.
Very true.
Like if I see somebody studying in the library, I'm gonna feel like that they're making good grades.
You feel like that person is considered to be studious.
Yeah, studious. Yeah.
But then at the same time, that goes to show you don't know how much time they've been in the library.
Exactly.
It's very true. Okay, all right. Well, I think that's about it for you today, sir. I greatly appreciate your time.
All right. No problem, Kevin.
Have a good one.